You're live.
Let's try one more.
Looks like people are starting to join.
So do I have to click something to bring David in?
Oh, view request. That's him. Go on. Alright, waiting for...
Hello.
There he is.
Hi.
David, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Wonderful.
Good to virtually see you.
I'm sorry.
Good to virtually see you.
Yeah. It's, it's almost like a board. Okay. So
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. How about
Perfect.
you, me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Everything's good here.
Yeah. Weird. I actually put a jacket on today. Haven't had a
I've got a collared shirt, a nice collared shirt. My daughter actually picked this one out, so.
We have people popping in, so I guess we can, wait for started and stuff. You well?
Okay. Yeah, thankfully all is well. Trying
Good.
to stay sane, keeping
Good.
busy. Say again?
Good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was really good. We had just our immediate family, my mom, my dad. They just hung out, had some turkey, and relaxed. It was good. How about you?
Yeah, my kids are scattered around the U.S. and my daughter, she can't get back. She came and visited us. She had 4 weeks when she came back, and that was okay. Working from home, It was just problematic. But anyway, we've got people popping in, but we might as well get started. To let you know, like the inaugural Instagram series that we're going to be starting. So you're first guy out of the chute, and we couldn't think of a better than the Cy Young Award winner of the Spectrum.
Yeah, we got very lucky this year. I was extremely surprised and honored to receive so many awards.
The baseball analogy is we always use analogies and stuff like that, but 6 awards is incredible. That's having a fastball, a changeup, a curveball, everything. And what was really cool is they're like every different kind of stone there. It's wonderful. And to my memory, I don't think we've ever had someone who won Best of Show 2 years in a row. That's pretty magnificent. I've taken options on the film already, so I just want to let you know that. But
I'm going for the hat trick next year. Definitely going for the hat trick.
Well, your family must be proud. You must be very happy. But
yes, we're all glowing here. So it's been an honor, and it was great to see that Loose Stones won Best of Show 2 years in a row. It's something that I don't think has happened ever.
It's funny because we rarely have. There's normally about a third of the entries are in the cutting edge division. And so when you do see a loose gemstone win Best of Show, it's really rewarding for a lot of the people out there that just deal in color and don't do managerial stuff. Helped our so anyway, congratulations.
Thank you.
Talking about do you do woodworking at all?
I do actually. I've got a decent wood shop, and I've been whittling a lot in the last few months because I've had more time at home, and I enjoy using my hands. And actually during that we had several storms up here, so there was a lot of wood in my yard that came down, and I was able to. I like using green wood, so it was nice to get my hands on some of that.
Well, you probably think about making a nice display case because you're going to need a little more room for those trophies and things. But I mean, I'm sure there's people listening today and involved today that kind of want to know about when you're processing, kind of about the creative process. Tell us a little bit about how you selected the gemstones that you wanted to enter and your involvement with them and what the process was like going through making.
So, I'm in a unique position because this is a second generation family business, and we have a niche in extremely fine natural colored gems. So we have a vast array of material that we collect and buy and sell. So I'm fortunate enough to be able to, when the time comes, enter those pieces in Spectrum and choose from a variety of species that I think would be good to submit. It's funny because I was working on another stone for this. I entered several other stones. I think I entered 9 or 10 pieces, if I'm not mistaken. But the ones that I thought were going to win didn't get any awards. And the pair that won Best of Show, it was kind of a last minute, oh, let's put these in and see what happens. And sure enough, they won Best of Show. So you never really know what is going to win, how the judges are going to judge. But so in choosing pieces, we try to choose stuff that is big, over 5 to 10 carats, that's very well cut, that's bright. I've entered several pieces that I thought were great material and rare and things like that, but they didn't have the brightness that the show winners have won. So I think that has been key in the deciding factor going forward, especially, is choosing gems that really they sing and they speak to the viewers. So in going through our inventory in the creative process, I try to look for stones that are exceptionally well cut, very clean, they glow, they have a bright color, and yeah, so that's kind of how we chose these stones to submit.
Well, and with the especially in those times that cutting edge loose gemstone Best of Show, we judge cutting edge portion first. We traditionally done that, and in general, most of our judges are very experienced. They have broad gem stuff, but their expertise and perhaps degree of rarity may not be as manufacturing process and their ability to judge and things. But what I have found that when, not always, but typically when a loose gemstone, or in your case, a pair of gemstones, which way, let's just pull those things up so that people can appreciate them. Okay. It's almost like the decision is made before. Orange was so big this year, and I tell you, the decision almost gets made because they see something that stunning, that bright, that well cut, special, and then say, "Geez, we've never seen anything before." It's rewarding. It's really rewarding. But talk about different pieces. But is there one or two of the winners that you have a story or something in held you to say, "I'm going to enter this piece"?
So the one piece that I worked on the most of the winners was the pink sapphire. This was a full recut that I did. That it was over 14 carats when we acquired it, and the cut, the symmetry on it, it was not very good. There were too many facets, and so I really opened it up. I brought more brightness to it and made it more symmetrical. Cleaned it up, and it came out. I really enjoyed working on this stone, and it was something that I studied for a week or two before I did it and before I started to work on it. And it's I was just so happy with the outcome. That of the winners was the stone that I worked on the most, and I was really happy that it came out. It was all banged up. It was in an old mounting. It was beat up. Somebody who wore it before really appreciated it, and you could tell.
We just lost.
Um,
Well, good. So
there it is.
you started out with the, and I'm sure that as you're recutting and stuff like that, you start taking a look at what you do and thinking about every bit cut away from this stone is cutting dollars off of this thing. But I mean, the quest for that characterizes your stuff. And I think fantastic job. It's been down around 05 characters. I've been thinking a little bit about.
I don't want to lose that much when I'm recutting stones.
No.
Hopefully not.
No, that's.
It's certainly happened before. I've certainly lost. I've broken stones. I've lost too much material. It's a learning process, but I've had a great teacher who also won a Spectrum Award a couple years ago. He came out to Tucson, and I apprenticed with him for several years, and he taught me basically everything I know in terms of cutting gemstones. And having worked with my father for so many years, and his knowledge has just been so helpful to me in this industry, and I couldn't have done it with either of those two people in my lives. So it's
Was there ever a time you were thinking about becoming a doctor or an attorney, or all of a sudden fell in love with gemstones? I know it's been part of your life growing up. Was there ever a time when you finally got that feeling that this is what I'm going to do?
Yes and no. It's so I sort of grew up in the industry. It's my father. My parents were divorced when I was at an early age, so I would come to work at my father's in the summers sometimes when I was younger. And then I would start going to trade shows with him. The Vegas show is a show that I've done for, I think since I've been 15 or 16. I remember going to Vegas being like, oh, I can't wait till I can gamble and drink, and it'll be so much more fun. But that took several years before that. But was there a time in my life when I was like, this is what I'm going to do? I think I went to university for business and politics. So
Mm-hmm.
I had interned at my state capital, which was in Connecticut, for a semester for the Speaker of the House. And during that internship, I learned that my career path was not going to be in politics. It's just the progress was too slow for me. Legislation was much too slow. I couldn't deal with the personalities. So I saw an opportunity to join my father's business. I really enjoyed working with my hands and being creative. And he said the only way you're going to join is if you learn how to cut. So I was working in a rock climbing gym at the time, and I would come back and forth. So I would work here during the weeks on my summers off from college, and then on the weekends I would go work in the rock climbing gym. So I think at that point I gained more of an appreciation for the gemstone business because I was involved more in the creative process. So I think it was the last year of my college when I said, you know what, I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to join the business. And it's has its ups and downs. I love gemstones. I love working with them. The business aspects of it are difficult, but here I am, and I'm enjoying it. It's been nice.
Do you spend a good portion of your time at the wheel?
It depends on the month. Any given month, sometimes I'm doing more work preparing for trade shows.
Hmm.
Sometimes I'm doing more business side of it, the buying and the selling. So if I'm in New York and let's say I don't have any traveling, which hasn't happened for the last 8 months now, but since March. Um, so if I'm in New York, I would say that I cut 30 to 60% of the time that I'm at work. So I try to carve out my mornings to get cutting done, and then after 12 is when I'll do more of the business stuff.
Do you with rough as well? I mean, do you buy rough?
So we do. I do buy rough and I cut rough, but just because it's the time constraints and the access to finer material, I
Mhm.
find that we buy more finished goods and recut them. So I do a lot more recuts and repolishing than I do cutting from rough.
Mhm.
But I certainly enjoy cutting from rough a lot more. It gives me more creative outlet.
So it's a little hard right now, hard on everyone. This whole different COVID world, and part of the everyone's business in the gemstone business is finding material, working on that material, selling that material, and right now there's not much opportunity to do that at all. Uh, and I'm just kind of curious about with your obviously you have a good source of materials to work with and stuff. Are you seeing exceptional challenges, or what's it like working under the COVID-19 thing right now for um, your business?
So on the selling side, it's hard because we can't do trade shows. And on the buying side, it's hard because we can't do trade shows. So by virtue of that fact, we have not bought or sold quite a bit more than we would in years without COVID. Um, Thankfully, we have a good reputation in the business where people know what we have and what we do. So we've been doing business with emails, with pictures and whatnot, and we can ship goods. But it's a lot of the face to face is it's not there. And while we can replace face to face with something like this, with Zoom or with FaceTime or with Instagram Live, it doesn't. For me, you lose that personal touch. You don't have, first you have lag, and you don't have. We're not together, Doug. Like while we're talking to each other and looking at each other, we're not face to face, so we're missing that, and that hurts our business a lot. But again, thankfully, uh, business has been going along. We've been selling off of pictures, off of emails, which is done well. But in terms of buying, people know what we buy, and they will send us things from time to time. Again, they'll send us pictures, they'll send us emails, and perhaps we'll end up buying something. But it's a lot harder. It's been a lot harder. Um, Not being able to go see people, not being able to go on a buying trip to a trade show or selling trip to a trade show, or I've I used to really enjoy going to source countries. Like Vietnam was a source country that I enjoyed going to and buying rough there, and buying stones to recut as well. But you can't do any of that now. So it's our business suffers as a result of not being able to travel, and it's unfortunate. But on the bright side of it, I get to spend a lot more time with my family and get better at woodworking. Right. So
Well, our business of gemstones has always been different and unique. Um, they're obviously having a piece of jewelry in your hands is extremely important. Be able to look at it, judge the nuance, things like that. But it's different when you talk gemstones, especially fine quality gemstones, because you don't have. They're all one of a kind. Okay, And
Yeah.
the nuances of, well, with your emphasis on cutting, to admire this sapphire online, you can get a real good idea. That's a magnificent piece. I'd like moving it just a few inches back and forth really makes the gemstone. I think that um, the Gem Fair Tucson, which fortunately we did have to for this, it's always going to be important because people want to touch and feel and hold those gems. And so we're going to, while the addition of technology has helped us, if you sent me a picture, say, my God, what a fascinating, send it to me. I want to. I think it's always going to be one of those situations where you really have to be front personal with a stone. Anyway, that's
Absolutely. While this thought just came up to me, the single most objectionable thing is lighting, right? So lighting for gemstones is so important, and the fact that you and I can't look at the gemstone in the same lighting at the same time and see the same thing affects our business greatly. So I can send you the stone and you can look at it in your lighting and it may look one way to you, but here in my lighting it looks a different way. So trying to translate that over a virtual platform, it's impossible. You can't do that.
I used to work for quite a gentleman, Kermit's company, and Richard he had such a magnificent eye for this, and he used to bought a lot of gems. He was involved in most of the purchase himself, but he always was clear, and he had the kind of reputation. There were no issues. He said, "I will always buy it if I like the gemstone, but I will never finalize it until I've seen it." Because he had a buying office, those, just the right kind of light, so he had a consistent kind of light that he could every gemstone. And I think it's important for people because when they're showing yours to their customers, like this pink sapphire, okay, that kind of gemstone is going to look entirely under incandescent light than it is in fluorescent light or something. And I think that's
Absolutely.
keep in mind when you're trying to figure out the direction you're stone and whatnot. But let me go over to another gemstone. Okay, this guy right here. Okay,
Oh yeah.
this is there are certain things in our industry and certain names and certain the Burmese ruby, the Kashmir sapphire, imperial jade, and oftentimes when they're talking about opal, one of the revered looks is harlequin opal, and sometimes early as an instructor and even now to people about gemstones, working with people and whatnot, trying to explain to them about what opal is you're kind of a little, but I'm figuring right take a picture of it and I can say, okay, it's magnificent. Did you do work?
No, I didn't get to really work on this. I polished it a little bit to increase the shine, but this stone we acquired as is. It's one of those stones that whomever cut it originally brought out, the gorgeous pattern, the harlequin pattern, and depending on which way you hold it, it almost looks like a hand. I don't know if you could see it like that, but it's like somebody's hand that's like this.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about opals is that there's so many different patterns and pictures that one can see in those stones. And this is one of those stones that it came to us, and we were fortunate enough to have acquired it. And it's
it's a magnificent piece.
Yeah, it's magnificent. I wish I had more opportunity to work on rough opal, but I don't. And I do recut some older opals, some older black opals from time to time, but I don't get the opportunity to work on this type of material in rough form. You know, that's something that the miners and the cutters that are there in Australia, those guys are doing the work, and they're bringing out the beauty in this, you know, and kudos to them. I mean, this is their magnificent work, and I was fortunate enough to be able to present it for an award.
Yeah, it's a specialized field. It really is. Working with different layers and levels and so. Well, that's you've probably got people on that are listening to you, and you said you worked with a gentleman who's your mentor a lot, and working with other. If you were talking to young cutters today, what kind of will you give them to where can they go to learn? What do you share with them that you experienced in the cutting that would help them, further their career? The Spectrum Company, you have to say that.
So, advice to other cutters and young cutters and people who are looking to get into this, it's the one thing I will say goes a long way is polish. And it's extremely important to have a good polish on a gemstone. Symmetry, cut, all that stuff is also extremely important as well, but polish is hard to achieve, that mirror shine, the flat faceting, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of learning and working with different materials and different polished powders and different laps. So it's all just about experience and to get learning. I know that there's local lapidary guilds here in the U.S. that people can learn from. Join a guild. There's so much information out there on the internet and on Instagram. I follow several people on Instagram who exclusively talk about lapidary work, and Justin Prim is one person I follow. He's out in Thailand. He has a cutting institute, I think, out there. He teaches lapidary for those people who are willing and able to go to Bangkok to learn, starting out. And another person I follow who does extremely creative and great lapidary work, although I've never seen his pieces in my hands, is top-notch faceting. It's Jean Noel is the person, and his creative designs are just amazing. So if I had opportunity to be a novice lapidary and learn from people like that and take their creativity and use that with mine, I think that would go a long way. And there's just so much information out there on YouTube. There's tons of videos for people to learn from. So that information's there. When I was younger, in my late teens and early 20s, that information wasn't as readily available as it is now. And it's a great resource for people to tap into.
So, what music do you listen to while you're cutting?
I listen to a lot of different music. I listen to reggae, rock, country, funk is certainly top of my list. 70s funk. I was born in the wrong generation, as they say. So.
Well, music transcends generations.
I like upbeat music, especially when I'm cutting. So it keeps me going. I'll listen to house. I'll listen to techno. I'll listen to just about anything. But some of my go-tos are funk, reggae, and classic rock, for sure.
So, tell us about you emerged on the scene like Tiger Woods. You've had some magnificent pieces and stuff. Tell us a little bit about how you feel the Spectrum competition has kind of helped you? I mean, what kind of impact has it had on your business? You get the award, but has it helped? Does it influence you? Does it make you feel good when you go against your peers? Give us some good stuff here, David.
Well, hopefully I won't crash and burn like Tiger Woods did, and I'll remain on the scene like some of the other masters of golf.
Well, pretty good run. Yeah.
Uh, sorry, repeat the question again. What's the question exactly?
I feel that being involved in the Spectrum competition has helped your business.
So Spectrum has been great in marketing our brand and our name. It's a tool that we've been able to use and show to our customers the level of work that we do and how exceptional it is. It's certainly brought more acknowledgement in the industry for us. It's been great to emphasize the type of work we do and to emphasize certain pieces. I know in the years past, if people see our ad or saw the Spectrum Awards at the next Tucson show, they would come and congratulate me and say, "Oh, what do you have in similar material? That's maybe not that stone, but something that's similar to that." So it certainly helped propel our business to newer heights, and it's been great. I mean, that's why we continue to submit so many stones. Again, I submitted 9 or 10 stones this Spectrum, and we were so fortunate to have won so many awards. I didn't imagine we were going to get. Yeah, I was hopeful for 1 or 2. It was amazing that we got 7. So, I mean,
Well, you had a great deal. I mean, what I thought was really interesting, if you take a look at the stones you entered, you had the Spencer type, the pear shapes, okay, which is a shape that has really, really come on strong, but it's not a traditional front and color. You had the opal, okay, a phenomenon entirely different. You have a cabochon, this, which was magnificent. You talked about like enter big, well cut, bright stones. I thought one contrast there was we introduced North American category to where just for the U.S. or Canada featured, and I first place for the red barrel. Okay, and this is like what 80 points, something like that.
yeah, it's exactly 80 points. It's a small little. I call it the Transformer because it looks like the Transformer logo. But yeah, it's a sweet little stone.
Yeah, there you go.
And I love that you added that the association added the North American Gem category this year. I think it was a great addition and something that emphasizes the material that is available from North America.
Well, the U.S. and Canada do some very stunning material. They don't have the the generations old Burma, cashmere, and things like that. But the materials coming out now in the sapphires, the suns, and the popularity of those materials, that community really embraced this edition competition. The largest group of entries in cutting what?
Oh, really? So the North American received the most.
Yeah,
that's great. That's good to hear.
And we, looking back at it, I'm not going to drop any names or anything like that, but I know there's some pieces that now that people are more aware of this, we didn't see any bonita white. Okay, and I thought for sure if you did North American, and there's some other local, and I think some of the local, and especially the U.S. have street cred because of the line they're from. Okay, so I'm looking forward to that. It was very successful. Kind of cool that you were able to bring a stone that huge. And I'd be remiss if I didn't show people your having trouble pulling those up. Again,
These stones I love. I mean, I love pink. I think they're an underrated or undervalued, I don't, or underappreciated color, or perhaps they're not, or maybe I just overappreciate them. But I mean, pink is one of my favorite colors in gemstones, and these morganites were just I love these.
and what's the total?
These are 20 carats total weight, so 10
Yeah.
carats each.
You know, 2-3 years ago, it was the color of radiant orchid. Okay, the Pantone color of the year. And that radiant orchid color, morganite. Okay, manufacturers were calling us. You know, where can I buy out 28 oval morganites and things like that? And the thing that people don't appreciate is just much morganite, and especially you rich, beautiful pink color that you've gotten. You know,
Yeah.
there's a little bit of color creep what a morganite is in recent years and things, but these were spectacular. Really, really neat.
Yeah, I love this pair. To get a straight pink like this with morganites is, as you know, difficult, and it's something that I love and appreciate. That color pink.
Cool. Well, we kind of our time frame here. Is there anything about David or share with our? We haven't gone. Do you want to talk about that? Our very close friend, like in moving forward. David Nassi. You really, really you've had a great awards this year. 2-time winner, best of show.
Yeah, I'm honored and blessed. That's all I could say for having won this many awards and best of show 2 years in a row. It's been a privilege, and I will continue to enter pieces and go for the hat trick next year, hopefully.
All right. Well, listen. Thank you for being on our lives. I know we're going to see you here in the competition. Sorry we won't be able to see each other on, but we'll certainly see each other hopefully in Las Vegas.
I hope
And you
so. Fingers crossed.
there, give my best to your family, and for joining us.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Doug. Been a pleasure. Take
Right.
care. Stay well.
Sure.